shit. I lost the groove.
Man. We should resync.
No need to resync.
This is where we start the episode.
Yeah, usually this is where we start the episode, but there's like a groove and you just stride into it, and I just kind of lost it.
What episode number is it?
This is episode 159 of the Play On Ultra podcast. That was a weird intro, but whatever. Let's go with it.
Yay,
Tension's
fireworks!
So yeah. The gang's back together. Everybody's back together.
Yes, I'm not missing. I'm here.
You did things.
I did do things. Lots of a big thing happened.
That was a big thing. I saw it.
Yeah. We went to a Renaissance fair
Nice.
near us. It's one we went to last year and had a really good time at. It's like the biggest one in our country, or at least in the Midwest of our country. And my partner proposed to me. So, yeah. Ooh.
I really like the ring. It looks really cool.
I know. I'm super excited. It's tanzanite, so that's why it's so different.
It's one of those like nice but not blood diamond shit kind of things, right?
Exactly. So I don't support the diamond industry. Gonna get on my soapbox. But because of both the whole blood diamond industry and also in a more practical matter, at least in the United States, I don't know if this is true everywhere else, but in the United States, diamonds are just overpriced completely. Like the price is just gouged
I'm pretty sure it's
way
same
higher
everywhere.
than it should be. Yeah, and
It just loses its value as soon as you walk out of the store.
Yeah, it's because diamonds are not. Spoiler alert: diamonds are not nearly as rare as you think they are at all. At least not and especially since now we can perfect them in laboratories, so it's kind of dumb. So instead, I decided to be. I want to be crazy and have tanzanite, which is one of the rarest precious stones in the world, because you can only get it in one spot.
Nice.
And just to give you an idea of how ridiculous the diamond industry is, this ring, I can't tell you the price, but this ring I was told by my partner was about like a third of the price of the diamond equivalent of it. So, yeah, take that what you will. Anyway, enough of my soapbox about diamonds. We went to the Renaissance fair there, so I dressed up and did all that stuff. It was very hot. And I'll be going to our Renaissance fair once it opens in a couple weeks, actually. So that will be fun. And otherwise, I've been spending my time playing a lot of Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Ooh.
So I got it right when it came out and immediately started playing it, even though I had a wedding I was supposed to go to that day. I've been really enjoying it, actually. I kind of burnt out on when I played Fire Emblem Fates for the 3DS, the one that came with like 3 games. I never even finished the first one, just because I kind of got stuck at one point, and I just did not really feel like keeping on going. It just kind of burned me out, and the idea of having to play 2 more of them especially just went no. And so I was eager to see how this game would turn out, especially since they said it was like a Persona game, but I could actually play a female character. What? So I would just
Your ability to play the female character, does it tie into which house you choose or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
It only ties into who you can romance.
Okay.
Which is there's interesting things that they do in this game that I'll get to in a second. I would describe as far as comparing it to Persona, I would describe it as probably a less stressful Persona. Because I feel like, and I haven't played a lot of Persona, but I feel like if Persona is one of those things that you have to really micromanage your time to the point that you might accidentally miss a time to meet with someone and then may miss out on some major, like, growth with that character as a result. Like,
That's
it makes it feel like...
me.
Yeah, it just always feels like you have to... Not that you have to, but you could pick the wrong thing to do enough times that it kind of impacts you. I haven't felt that way with this Fire Emblem game. I think there are some obvious wrong choices to make, but overall... I feel like I've been really taking my time with this game and haven't done much micromanaging or much like really focusing on those kinds of things. And I am still quite powerful. I am beating through maps pretty handedly. and stuff like that. If you play in a harder mode, I bet it would be a lot more difficult and you'd have to do a lot more micromanaging. But I'm really enjoying it. I like the house I picked. You really get to know the characters. It really does seem like, depending on the house you pick, it probably plays the game a little differently, just because the missions I've been going on, some of them seem to be universal missions, like you probably would do it no matter what house you're in. But there are a couple missions that they have you do that make me think that feels very like central to just the house I picked. So the only thing I know is once I get to the halfway point, that the spoiler alert that everybody knows about, where the 3 houses that you've kind of worked together, you're now going to have to fight against, it's going to be really sad. That's all I know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to get real sad really quick. But I'm really enjoying my time with it. The romance part, here's what's really funny. So there are, of course, if you're female, you can romance pretty much all the male characters. If you're male, you can pretty much romance all the female characters. But they do have some gay options. But people are mad because it's very obviously one side. There are way more lesbian options than there are gay men options. And it's interesting which characters they choose to have it that way. People are pretty mad right now because there's the 3 houses, and so there's a house leader in each house. And my house leader happens to be a man, another house leader is also a man, and then there's a female house leader. As a female character, you can only romance the house leaders if you're in their house. You can romance otherwise anybody cross-house, but you can only romance the people of those within the house leaders. So I'm with the Blue Lions. I can't romance the house leader, the Golden Deers, for instance. But what's so funny is, the female character can romance anybody, even the female house leader, like of the house leaders. So, of course, there's the 2 male and the female. The female house leader is apparently bisexual, but none of the male leaders are bisexual. So if you're a male character, you can't, you actually limit your options if you do any of the houses except that the female leader-led house, which is super funny to me. People are really mad because one of the male house leaders is so, like, obviously probably could be bi. Like, just the way he presents himself, you're like, you're not? But nope, he's not. Surprise. So, and I think, unfortunately, what I would say is I would not credit the game writers for being open-minded for the reason why there's more lesbian options, because for several of the characters, it's just very clear that they didn't want to rewrite their dialogue from being flirty with the male character. Because I've had female characters that are flirtatious with me, that I'm like, you would say this if I was the male character, and they just don't want to change the dialogue, and that's why they're gay. So, it's kind of the downside, like, less that they're open-minded and more that they just want a lot of female characters to flirt with you, and they decide not to change it depending on your gender. So, okay. Besides that, I'm rather enjoying the game. The tactics is all really good. It's kind of cool because it kind of is combining elements of 2 different Fire Emblem games, the Shadows of Valentia that I liked a lot, that was very different, and the other ones like Awakening. So I'm pretty happy about that. So
are you fiddling with the camera?
Other than those things,
because you can do like a third person close to the action camera, right?
Yes. So sometimes I do because one thing you can do is when normally in a Fire Emblem game, when you're moving the people around like a tactics thing, it usually is kind of like your little pawn and then you kind of move with the arrows. But you can lower it so that you are kind of like not quite first person, but like third person and moving them around through the map, which sometimes you kind of have to do when you're trying to move them through forests because the game doesn't really do a very good job of, like, having you tell where you're at, so sometimes it's necessary. But I do that a little bit just to kind of almost help with my mobility. But yeah, there's a lot more just things. Like, one thing that's really new that I'm shocked they have here, they will tell you, pretty guaranteed will tell you most of the time which of your characters, your enemies, are going to attack next. So if you, so it's really yeah.
Is
like
that
you'll
new?
move your it's super new. They have never done a predictive software like this before. So you'll have your character. So it's weird because it really does bring an extra layer of tactics, because you can move your characters around and you'll immediately see a red line like, oh, the enemies are going to target this one. So you're like, oh, I should move them back. I don't want them to be targeted next round. And they'll even give predictions before their turn happens, like how your characters are going to fare once they get attacked. So it's really, they give you more predictive software, which I was very surprised about, on top of being able to turn back time. But in some ways it allows you to be smarter and not have to like restart your game. Because the other thing they added, which is super weird, you are allowed to, if you die and you have some moves left of the time warp thing, you can do that. Or if you die, or if you just choose to in the middle of battle go, I'm not going to win this, you are allowed to restart the battle with all of your gained experience from that previous battle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is super new.
Is it a casual difficulty thing? Do you think it's on the hard thing?
I think it's hard. I think it's same all across difficulties, but don't count me on that. I only say that because it would make sense. I would say actually in their classic mode, this is extremely useful, because here's the thing, like, people like to say they love the permadeath options in Fire Emblem, but let's be real. If one of your characters die, you're going to restart the battle. You're not going to, like, let that go because of character development. You're going to restart the battle. So kind of, what's the point, you know? And so I think this is a good way for people to do classic mode, but not necessarily have to start all over if things go really south. So it's really interesting.
Sounds like there's a lot of QOL improvements.
Yeah, a lot. One even just a basic, it's not really even a QOL thing, but just a basic like, why didn't they program this before? But just because they have more programming, if you've ever seen those tactic games where you have your characters like move in a certain way, so for instance, maybe because it's all very strict of like turn, like, forward direction, you might have it that it's kind of jagged, and so they may like, in how you do it, like they turn this way and then this way, but in the game they just have them cross the diagonal. They don't make them go through. It's just more realistic feeling. It's not necessary. It's just weird little things like that they add to the game that are interesting. Even the way the support conversations go, which would be like those conversations to raise your levels in Persona with a character, similar mechanic in Fire Emblem, they're much more cinematic. With how they're done. Like, you can't, if you have like a support conversation with another person, you kind of have to wait like cinematically for it to happen. Like they'll let you know like it's gonna happen soon, but we're gonna wait for like a cinematic moment kind of thing, which is pretty cool. What I really like is I don't have to matchmake everybody, just myself, so that's a lot less stress. I don't have to marry everybody off. I just have to marry myself, so that's nice. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm taking my sweet time with it, but I'm enjoying it so far. So that has been my couple of weeks.
What'd you do, Fo?
I think the big thing is I watched all of, and I've almost read all of The Boys in the last 2 weeks.
So you haven't finished either yet, is what you're saying?
I finished all the show.
Oh, okay.
But I'm only on trade paperback 10 of 12. They've been on my Amazon wish list for like 3 or 4 years, but they've been on like 50%.
Did you buy a physical or did you use a digital?
Yeah.
Which one do you use again?
Comixology. I definitely don't. I'm not an advocate for it. I don't like it. I just don't have shelf space anymore.
It's the easiest
way
to get it,
physically don't have space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you
really
like
good.
it?
It's actually...
I heard it's really good. Within 2 weeks, it's the most watched Amazon Prime show like ever or something.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm trying to think what to compare it to. If you watched or read Preacher, I mean, it's funny because
it is Garth Ennis.
Yeah, it's still Garth Ennis. I'm trying to like separate out now what I like about the show and I like about the comics, because they're actually very different. So actually, it's interesting how different the comics are from the show in terms of the characters that exist and which characters do what, but they both, like, the show does a very good job of nailing just the tone and like the mood of the comics. Like it's very, it couldn't be more true to the comics while still being extremely different in terms of, it's because the boys in the comics are like all together from issue 1, basically. It's like, we're the
okay.
boys, this is what we do. And then in the show, it's kind of like,
There's an origin
who's this
backstory type
character?
thing.
Oh man, who's this? Yeah, where do they come from? And so I actually kind of don't like that tiny aspect of it, but I think it does a better job of making the heroes hateable. Because in the comics, like, you kind of only hate the heroes because they're super, super entitled. And so they're just like, oh, they're having sex all the time. That shouldn't be allowed. I mean, they do some crimes. Like, they do murder people, which is bad. But like in the show, it's much more. They're much more evil and nefarious. Like, they're like running drug rings and like doing like this, more like a broader variety of crimes.
Right.
So they build the tension and they're creepier, and there's a little more mystery behind it there, which is kind of cool.
Do you know if this is just season 1 or?
It is just season 1. It ends in a cliffhanger, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's also a cliffhanger that doesn't exist in the comic books because it's with a character who doesn't exist. So I'm not gonna have any answers for it.
You gotta drag it out.
Yeah, but it's interesting when they were drawing the comic book initially. This was before Shaun of the Dead came out, because it's the early 2000s, and the artist drew the main character to look specifically like Simon Pegg, because he liked Simon Pegg from his earliest work. And then Simon Pegg got big. He's like, oh no, what have I done? But Simon Pegg was a big fan of it. So Simon Pegg actually wrote the intro to the version of the comics I'm reading, and Simon Pegg plays that character's dad in the show. His American accent's a little weird, but it's still better than Bilbo's or Doctor Strange's.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch, Holmes and Watson. It's better than either of their American accents.
Yeah, right. Should just made him British.
Yeah, I should have just left him Scottish or whatever. I don't know. So that's been me. I've been reading that like a lot because it's a lot to read. In terms of video games, I didn't get to play Kathy Rain at all this week, but I played it for a lot last week, so I'm making progress.
Where are you at?
Let's see. The last thing that happened is... Did I get abducted? I went into the woods with the big dumb guy, and the lights appeared, and he disappeared.
Oh, you were getting pretty close then. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I haven't played very long, but the story feels like it's ramping up pretty fast. Like, I arrested the religious guy.
Yes.
I got
Yeah.
him in jail.
You're not like right at the end, but you're getting close to the climax for sure.
Cool.
I think I warned you that it's gonna jump the shark a little bit. So
yeah, I haven't figured out yet if it's gonna be supernatural or not. It's like, what are all these weird, mysterious things? Are they actually gonna be supernatural? Or are they gonna be drugs? I don't know yet.
Yeah. That was my problem too. So.
Yeah, that's been
still, I love
good.
it. Yeah, how have you been liking the way that they do like point and click stuff and such like that?
Yeah.
And the puzzles.
I definitely like having like the motorcycle hub world to get around. That's pretty fast. But
Yes.
I do still very, very much miss not being able to double click to like move faster.
Yeah,
or
I
go through
forget that.
doors.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing it, I kept like instinctively doing that, and she was not moving faster.
It makes her
"What are you
slower,
doing?"
like because it kind of resets her walk animation.
Yeah, I remember that.
That part really sucks, but everything else is pretty good. It's done a good job of, like, it's not like if I click on an item in my inventory and then click on an item in the world, like there's some leeway on like how precise I have to be of like what action I used with the item, or there was some puzzle I solved recent. Oh, like it was one of the puzzles where like you're stitching together like a voice file to spoof it. It's like, okay, pick these words and reassemble them. And I got like roughly the right sentence, so they just auto-completed to the right sentence. Like that was nice.
That's what happened with me too. Yeah, because it was a really cool puzzle idea, but it could have been such a huge headache if they hadn't done that. Because I had the same thing. I was like, I think I had this, and then they kind of changed. They're like, oh, that's close enough. I was like, oh, okay. I had the right idea. I appreciated that. I bet during like testing they realized that there was no way people were gonna get exactly right. So I definitely appreciate that.
Had a similar puzzle, like Thimbleweed Park or something had a similar puzzle, and you had to be precise, and it's even harder because like one of the end puzzles had you like you didn't have the exact right word, so you had to pick like a word that rhymed and like combine. It's just like I had to look it up. That's like one of the few times I had to look up a guide. I think it was for Thimbleweed Park, and I was like, that was dumb.
Oh, jeez.
So I appreciated it in this game. This game is good.
Yes.
I tried playing. There was a Steam sale, so I tried playing Warhammer 40k. The name's long. It was Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. Yeah, Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr.
Isometric action RPG, right?
Yes, it's their. So because it's funny, they have that game, which is the 40k Diablo, and they also have Warhammer
Fantasy
Chaos
Diablo.
Bane, which is the fantasy Diablo. I
And it's
haven't
by
tried
two
Chaos
different companies,
Bane.
right?
Oh, probably actually I didn't even look.
I'm pretty sure they sell their IP to everyone.
Yes, they do. So the theming was very on point. Like, it was really cool from a Warhammer perspective. But
Nice.
the gameplay was pretty boring. Like, I definitely didn't give it a super fair shot, but like my 2 hours was up and I'm not sold, so I returned it.
I think it was like mixed reviews or something.
It's pretty mixed reviews. It's not horrible.
And
like,
they
it's
had
definitely playable.
Yeah, and they have what do you call those expansions that you don't have to have the base game for again?
I don't know what you call those, but yeah, they got.
But you know what I mean, right?
I kind of wish I'd tried that instead because it adds. So when you build your character, there's like 4 classes or 3 classes, and the pseudo expansion adds a different class, and that one seemed really, really cool. Like, because my favorite faction in Warhammer 40k is the Martians, the Adeptus Mechanicus. They like replace their body parts with robots and get extra limbs and that kind of stuff. So they're kind of cool. But the class was a minion pet based class, which I don't usually enjoy playing. So it's like,
You might actually like this game then. It's Warhammer 40k Mechanicus.
I have that one. I do like it.
Okay, it's the XCOM one, right? XCOM style.
Ish, yeah.
Ish?
It's not as the
is
RNG
it closer
not as-
to...
It's not strong. It doesn't rely on RNG as much.
Okay. Is it
And
is,
this is
is it like an XCOM thing? You go down doing missions and then you go back up to some hub world or something?
yes.
Okay.
But the missions are a little weird. So the idea is you've found like this tomb planet and you're exploring, and so you have like this like almost like a radar view of all these like rooms with hallways. And you just kind of click, and so you progress your way through like whatever level it is, and each room usually gives you like an option, like, oh, you find like the corpse of one of your comrades. Do you give them a proper burial? Do you burn them so they can't be profaned, or do you try and like recover their, they give you options, and then something happens, like, oh no, they were booby traps and they explode, or yeah, you get extra information, they help you in this way. And so it's kind of FTL like, in that the more rooms you visit, the harder the fight at the end will be. And so it's kind of fun, but it is a little RNG-y, because like there's the number of different situations you encounter is pretty small, and whichever reaction you pick, it's just kind of random if it's good or bad. So that's not terribly engaging, but it also doesn't really matter one way or the other. The good outcomes aren't that good, and the bad outcomes aren't that bad. So it's just kind of like, I just want to skip to the fight, really. So I just kind of click as fast as I can for the most part. And the fights are pretty cool, just because it does a good job of letting you kind of like customize your force in an interesting way. And then thematically, it's very, very on point.
I have it. I still haven't played it yet.
I think you'll like it. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you'll
like
love it enough to
XCOM-ish
finish it.
game.
Yeah. I haven't installed it yet, but I did buy Disgaea 5 for the Switch.
Nice. $20, right? 50% off.
Yeah.
I think Sarah, you should get it too.
I know.
I just bought a 256 gigabyte card to replace my 128 because filling up real quick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to buy so many digital, so I thought 128 is enough. But then they were
Yep.
like, the sales and some of the games are big and the Switch is so small in terms of capacity, and most of the time we don't, Malaysia, we don't have like big sales at retailers, so physicals just stay expensive, almost full price pretty much forever. So yeah,
Oh,
digital is the only one like. But yeah, talking about XCOM like games, so Mutant Year Zero, right?
Yeah. DLC.
You know the Epic Game Store is doing that free games every week thing.
I remember.
Yeah, Mutant Year Zero is gonna be the next one.
Cool.
So if you
Wasn't
don't have it
already
yet,
like in a humble bundle though?
it was in the Humble Monthly, the
Like 2 months ago?
$12 a few months ago. It was in the
Okay.
monthly one, which is the $12
Do they
subscription
still
thing.
Do they still do like video game humble bundles non-monthly? I feel like they
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but
don't. Okay.
it's
Like,
way.
I only see books and stuff. in
Yeah, it's
comics
more
now.
rare. I think currently they have some Arma one or something. So you have all
Okay.
the different Arma games and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, they don't do it as much as anymore. But yeah,
Makes sense. And that's pretty much me. I didn't really watch anything else cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I watched anything, but
I watched a couple of things that's pretty
no.
cool.
Oh yeah.
But before that, I finished Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. It wasn't very long, but it's one of those games where you're supposed to like, replay and grind out and like buy the DLC for more content and shit. So I finished the game with a team that I played with most of the way. So I finished it with Venom, Hulk, Deadpool, and Magneto.
Oh.
The last slot was the one that changed the most. So I tried Magneto, I tried Wolverine, I tried Elektra, but I really like Magneto. So, and I want like a range magic user type of character because the other three is just very physical. But yeah, the story is boring. It's just fucking Thanos trying to get the fucking stones and shit. Like, I would rather fight
Nothing
Apocalypse,
new.
honestly. I think that would be a cooler character. There are
Apocalypse is
DLCs.
cooler than Thanos.
Yep. Thanos is really boring. He's just overpowered. I'm not.
I'm just talking about in terms of looks. I mean, I
That
think
is true.
Apocalypse. Oh no, I'm thinking of Darkseid, not Apocalypse. Apocalypse is pretty overpowered.
Apocalypse is pretty good. I really like him as a character. Not in the shitty movies though. The movie that was really bad. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to grind out more, level up the characters, play the game again on like a harder difficulty, get more stuff because you don't get all the characters as you play the game. You have to get 4 or 5 characters by finishing difficult challenges, and I gotta level up for those. I have the DLC. I bought the season pass, but nothing dropped yet. They're gonna drop it like 3 times, 3 different packs, which includes characters and modes. So yeah, that is mostly what I played. And Destiny 2, because Destiny 2 has a fucking new event now called Solstice of Heroes or something, and you get armor that you have to grind out for because the armor sucks, and obviously you have to grind, and there's so much grinding. I don't know why I do this to myself. It's just I really don't. I've put in at least 200 something hours so far, and I really don't recommend that game to anybody. But I'm still gonna grind it out though. So, but the thing that I really enjoyed doing this past couple of weeks was I watched 2 movies. I finally watched Endgame.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
I liked it much better than Infinity War.
Okay, I was wondering because I remember you didn't like
I hate the
War much
Infinity
at all.
War. They made their women look so stupid and weak, and it was fuck. But Endgame was okay. It was pretty good, enjoyable movie, honestly. And I really love that nod where no spoilers, I suppose. I guess I don't know.
Well, spoiler thing's off now, but
Yeah. You know the part where Captain Marvel was like in the final battle, Captain Marvel has to go through like
yeah.
and then all the women is like
Just
she's not
flies
alone.
Yeah.
through it. Oh,
which is
God.
which is interesting because I did not see any fanboys talking about that. So yeah.
No, overall they were
I've seen
pretty
a couple of
quiet about
memes,
it.
but yeah, it's true.
Yeah. There were memes talking about like, they're trying to, appease the SJW a little bit, but like,
I thought it was just a cool thing to do though.
I thought I was fine with it. I had some people that were
That was
wondering
a little
if it was.
heavy-handed.
That's what some people were talking about. Was like it's a pandering and stuff like that. And I
The
remember
thing is,
kind of.
it's always pandering though if it's not
Well,
the default, right?
I don't
That's
know.
always.
That's
I mean,
the
that's always the
problem.
go-to
I guess
argument.
that's true.
That's what's always gonna.
I definitely wouldn't have liked it more to say. I mean, a cheesy lineup of guys, but I wouldn't have used the word pandering. That's true. I mean, it made me think of a different adjective, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things because I remember another guy was up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that scene because I thought it was just kind of pandering, like they got their gold star," and I was like,
The fuck?
No,
The problem is,
like
I would have rather replaced that scene with more awesome action scenes. Like when Pepper Potts first shows up, that was like the coolest scene in the whole fight, I think.
yeah, that was cool. I guess for me it was more one of those things. I'm like, listen, we don't get very many chances to go, yeah, girls. So I was fine with it for now.
I didn't hate it.
No.
They gave them a chance to flex, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for me it was just like the whole
so
scene is
cheesy.
supposed to be everybody, flexing their big
Yeah.
stuff.
To be
I mean,
fair,
you got,
comic books are cheesy.
yeah, so I guess for me it was just
I
kind of like,
want
oh,
them,
this is cool.
gritty. I want them more gritty. I want more.
Then you
like,
go to DC.
You want
I
DC
want
shit.
more like Ant-Man
say-
just punching giant serpents out of the sky. Oh, that was so cool. And
You
just
go
stomping
to your
people.
DC corner if you want gritty.
Ooh, there's a cool mission in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 game where Ant-Man becomes a skyscraper size punching what is that? God, what's his
Fin
name?
Fang Foom
No. It's a big robot. That's actually a character in the Marvel universe.
in Marvel.
Yeah.
A big robot.
Yeah.
Like a skyscraper-sized robot.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
But yeah,
I'm
that was
gonna
pretty cool.
Google Big Marvel robot.
Yeah.
What do I
and, And the mission kept going as the Ant-Man and the big robot fights in the background, and you can see it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you're talking about a Sentinel.
Not a Sentinel.
Nope. Okay.
But a Sentinel is in that game. Sentinels are in that game.
I mean, I'm seeing. I don't know.
God damn it. Now I really need
It's
to know.
like Big Hero 6 or something.
Nah. Big giant
Not
robot.
Galactus.
Galactus is not a robot, is he?
He's not. But I could see why you might confuse him with a robot.
I guess so. Whatever it is. But
It's not Hulk armor, right? It's not.
no,
Iron Man,
it's not.
Hulk
It's
Slayer
like
armor?
skyscraper sized.
Okay. Yeah, bigger. Okay.
But yeah, Endgame. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Good.
It was way better than the fucking part one.
I thought that was about the
but-
same. They're both good. I don't know.
I was fine with.
I wonder if we're gonna
it's the end of an
rewatch
era.
it and be like, oh yeah, we forgot Hulk dabs and Korg plays
Oh, that
Fortnite. That's not gonna age very well.
That one-
at all.
I didn't like Hulk being what he became.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is okay.
I mean,
I definitely like him
it was,
less.
It was easy for the plot, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't want to
You
deal
can't
so
work with
much
the
with
Hulk.
the. Yeah, they didn't want to deal so much with the uncontrollable.
But that has
aspect.
happened though, right? Like in the comics, I
Yes.
believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yeah, bunch of people died, I guess.
Kind of.
Not
Yeah.
as many as I thought.
Now that we're finished with
Not as
this,
many as I
I'm
thought.
just really excited to watch Jane as Thor and
I'm
be-
so.
and Blade. I'm
The
so hyped for
Marvelous
that.
Thor.
I'm so curious to see what they're gonna do with that. I do have to laugh because I'm like, oh, so I guess because I thought I had heard that why can't I think of the actress's name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
I love her
I
so
thought
much.
Natalie
I'd
Portman
heard that
didn't. Yeah, that she didn't enjoy the Thor movie,
Yeah.
so it's kind of why she separated
I'd
herself from the
also heard that.
project, and now all
So
of a
she's
sudden,
okay
like,
with coming back and doing this.
She's
I
the
guess so.
star.
maybe. I mean, I like
Maybe.
Natalie Portman just fine, but
I
I think
like her.
she.
I really like her.
I have a feeling she does better when she's not like a romantic lead. I have
Yeah,
to be
she's
honest
she's
with you.
much better than that.
I feel like, and I mean, I only have 2 movies to really work off of me knowing her as a romantic lead, and it was bad in both of them, Star Wars and Thor. So
Star
I
Wars,
feel like
Jesus.
yeah, like that's I don't even I guess I don't even remember her in other romantic leads, like true romantic leads. I know Black Swan was a weird one, and they had the Boyle sisters one. I don't really count that either. But like when
V?
is that V
No.
for Vendetta?
Yeah.
Was that her?
That was
That's
Natalie
her.
Portman, yeah.
She's more of a lead.
Oh.
She's the lead, I would say.
Yeah.
Would you
Oh, I
or-
forgot that was her.
Yeah, I guess depending
See,
on
I
how you
don't-
look at it,
I
right? I
don't
think
like
she was the
that-
main
Yeah.
character.
It's
I don't
not a
like what they
romance,
did
but
with
she
her
might not be
char-
the lead. Yeah, that's true.
I don't like what they do with her character in V for Vendetta.
She's
Like
not people
at
like
all,
about that
so.
movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's my partner's one of her favorite movies, so she showed it to me, and I was like, I am so uncomfortable what they're doing. I forgot her name with the female character. I'm like, this is so
Yeah, me too.
uncomfortable. I forgot that was Natalie Portman.
Eve.
Eve.
Eve?
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
no, thank you. Okay, that's
Everything's got
anyway.
a V in it.
But anyway, but I'm excited to see how this goes and whether it's gonna become a lesbian romance.
I wish, you know what I wish they do?
Huh.
The current Iron Man is like a black woman or something, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
They should totally do
Yes,
that.
one of them. Yeah, well, that's what people
Because it would be
it's
super
Iron-
cool to have, a black woman as Iron
Yeah,
Woman, but
like-
also it will piss off so many people. I just want to see
the
that.
thing- That's funny you say that because what a lot of people were hoping for and it didn't happen was because I believe her name is Ironheart and they thought Shuri would take that role.
Oh, okay.
Because it
That'd be a cool.
Yeah. We haven't seen any kind of evidence
been
for
cool.
that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but that was kind of the hope was that because of that series, they were thought, well, Shuri kind of fits that role. The right.
Wait, so
she's not
Ironheart
African
is the
American.
current Iron.
I think that's what she's called. If it's the one, I just remember people.
Ironheart, Riri Williams. Okay, right.
Yeah. I mean, Shuri's not African American, but it's just at least you at least have that part of it, I guess, with the heritage. But she would fit as far as your character. I mean, she's extremely intelligent, and she would probably want to do something like that. So that's what people were hoping for, but unfortunately it didn't happen. She didn't really play much of a role, unfortunately, in the last
She'll be
two
perfect,
movies,
honestly.
so. Yeah, but we'll see. We got a new Black Panther coming out, so.
Is there gonna be a new Iron Man movie? No, they didn't say anything about that, right?
No, nope. I have not heard any. Not when they came out on Comic-Con or whatever. There was no new Iron Man feature. I think they did say, because I think there's gonna be another Spider-Man movie. I think they mentioned that I thought I heard something about like, Stark's daughter, but I don't remember. I could be
Oh,
misremembering
man.
something.
She's so white though. She just give it to.
Not necessarily for her to be Iron Man, but more.
But that was
of,
gonna take like 20 years or something.
Yeah, for her to be involved more in the Spider-Man storyline, but I don't really know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the
But,
thing I need to watch next, I guess. Far From Home. Is it Far From Home?
I liked Far From Home, but
I mostly want to watch because of Mysterio.
yeah.
I like
See,
Mysterio.
I like what they did with him.
Nice.
But I liked it, but you'll make your own decision.
I like the actor that played Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, he does a great job. He does a really good job in
Houlihan.
that role. Regardless of how you feel about the movie itself, which I really liked. I think most people liked it. I have a friend who's a huge comic book nerd, and he was like lukewarm about it. But we'll see. I really liked it. You definitely need to stay for both ending scene credits, though. You have to.
The issue I have with a lot of Spider-Man villains is I don't like most of them. So when the movies have bad adaptations, I'm like, oh, that was really cool. Because normally I hate that guy, and they made him look cooler for once.
You don't like
well,
the
that's what they've been doing in the
Spider-Man
latest
Rogue Gallery?
Spider-Man movies.
I like Doc Ock. I like Sandman.
Green Gob?
I think he was okay. He looks cool, but
What about the symbiotes?
I don't even know this. I don't know those.
The Venom and Carnage?
Oh, sorry, you meant Venom and Carnage.
Yeah.
I don't like Carnage. I do like Venom.
You don't like Carnage? Huh.
I don't like. I'm Chaos Incarnate. I'm so random, but he's never randomly good. He's only randomly evil, so he's full of shit.
He's like a poor man's Joker or something.
Yeah,
Overpowered Joker.
There's a good crossover, a Deadpool versus Carnage crossover. That's pretty fun. So they're both like, no, I kill more randomly. No, I kill more randomly. And they're just trying to do random shit, which is kind of counter to what I just said, but they pull it off in a fun way. Because Deadpool gets like a symbiote on each of his limbs. What was I was saying? Oh yeah, I don't know, but I mean, like, I liked Electro, Jamie Foxx Electro, which is kind of cool.
Really?
Normally, I don't like
Oh,
Mysterio.
did you like his backstory or something?
No, I think I just liked the dubstep music that went with him. And normally he looks super goofy with like the green tights and the yellow. I don't know, a lot of Spider-Man guys, I guess they all look goofy, but
They're
I
kind
don't
of
like
goofy.
Vulture.
The
Rhino's
Vulture in the
kinda
movie
missed
was
most of the
pretty
time.
solid though.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that one?
I think the like the movies, like the more technology based. They're not just like costumes; they're more like you can see like, oh yeah, it's like a powered suit. That's usually makes them look cooler.
Yeah. And you're not just wearing tights with wings or something.
Yeah, you don't just have flappy arms.
So yeah, Endgame was a thing.
Yes.
The other movie I watched is A Silent Voice, Koe no Katachi, which is an emotional anime movie about bullying, and it came out around the same time as Your Name, and that is why not as many people know about it, because Your Name,
Overshadowed.
yeah, in Japan, A Silent Voice was actually number 2 behind Your Name in terms of box office rake-ins, but Your Name got more international acclaim, and then I learned about Silent Voice, and I was like, okay, let's watch another emotional anime movie, I guess.
Are you gonna say it was better?
Your Name was better.
Oh, okay.
I still need to watch that.
I personally, okay, so because Your Name was different. The animation was. Silent Voice is closer to what, at least for me, is closer to what I would expect from an anime. But Your Name kind of. Your Name would be one of the things that I will tell somebody to, if they've never watched an anime, to watch that. And then watch A Silent Voice instead of like the other way around, is I guess what I would say. I prefer Your Name. A Silent Voice was really good though. It was really good. It's basically the story of a deaf girl. She's deaf and mute. Wait, no, she's not mute. She's just deaf, so she can't pronounce all the words properly. So she's deaf. She went to a school. She got bullied really badly. She then transferred out to another school, and then the main bully, then after a few years, just sank into this deep depression and stuff, and felt real guilty. And then it's the story of him seeking her out and making amends. And
You're mostly following the bully, or you're following both, kind of?
I would say the bully is the protagonist. I would say the main character that you follow mostly. She gets a lot of screen time. It's like 60-40 maybe share of screen time. But you definitely follow the bully more, which is one of the things that I didn't really like. I mean, I would have preferred to see it from the perspective of the deaf girl. I don't know. It just feels like. I mean, people change, I guess, and they feel guilt and all that stuff. But I don't know. I just didn't really like the perspective they chose. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It does a couple of good things. Some interesting
to tell.
A couple of interesting things of storytelling. Overall, I definitely prefer Your Name, but it's a really good movie. If you like Your Name, I don't think you will hate this one. You will also like it. It's,
there is room for both.
Yep. It's one of those if you need to cry or something.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Trigger warning for bullying.
Okay.
Sure.
Like, it's really bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Still need to watch Your Name anyway. So.
So yeah. Yeah, definitely watch Your Name. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
I have seen that. It's good.
So good. And I think the best part of watching Your Name for me was I went in knowing nothing. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah,
The only thing I knew was it was an anime movie. That's all I knew.
Yep.
I didn't know it was a slice of life romantic thing. I didn't know they had that, that weird thing that they do, and I was just like, fucking hell, it was so good. So yeah, that was my 2 weeks. Watched a bunch of stuff and played less bunch of stuff. So yeah, news time. So much, man. So much.
I know.
Where do we even start?
Where do you wanna?
What is that guy's name? Is it Hasan Minhaj?
That sounds like a name I've heard. I don't know.
Hasan Minhaj.
Regards to what?
He was, Hasan Minhaj. He is like a comedian, and he was on the Daily Show as one of those correspondents. And then now he has his own show on Netflix.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I think he also recently hosted like a big whatever. But so his current show on Netflix, the Patriot Act with Hasan Minhaj, he did a thing on the video game industry, and he talked about he talked about how much money it was making, all the microtransaction stuff, all the sexist, racist stuff, and yeah. So yeah, let's start with a small but important one. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft will now to require loot box odds disclosure.
Yes.
Yeah.
On their systems.
So wow.
So yeah.
This is going to be interesting. I certainly think this is actually probably it's a small step for sure, and the whole loot box thing, but it is an interesting step. I'll be very curious to see how this affects loot boxes going forward now that everybody...
But Microsoft
sales.
Microsoft definitely cannot force this on PC, right? It has to be like Valve or something, I guess.
I imagine. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah. So I mean, this obviously will affect Xbox.
Yeah. It's just interesting because I'll be curious. I don't know if it's going to decrease sales necessarily, but it will. I'm curious to see how it will affect like going forward when they make their games. It's almost like a mini competition who has the better loot box percentages almost, but depending on what you can win, of course. Although when I first heard about this, and this is really weird, but I kind of thought about it, I was like, reminds me of how McDonald's now puts their calorie counts. Where you're like, I'm thankful for
the calorie count thing. Was that in response to a lawsuit or a preemptive
legislation
thing?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was legislation because I've only seen it in a few fast food places. I don't see it in all of them. So I think it was more of an internal decision within the company. But don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I do know that in the United States, we now in our nutrition facts companies must add how much added sugar is in something versus just how much sugar in general something has. That was a legislative thing, I believe, but that was different.
So this is good because it might make people think twice before buying loot boxes, and also they can't do any funny things with just changing the odds.
Exactly.
I mean, they might still be able to. I don't know.
They might still pull. I'm sure they'll find some way to pull something where the numbers look good, but they're not actually that good. I'm sure there's some mathematical thing that can pull for that. I mean, casinos have been running on this logic for years.
Yeah.
But I certainly think it's a good step forward to try to be more transparent for sure. Maybe teach some kids how to do statistics.
So yeah, this was a step by, I believe, the ESA. Or ESA made this announcement or something, the Entertainment Software Association. And speaking about the ESA, you know what they did, right?
Remind me.
They leaked out personal information of 2,000 game journalists.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mean E3? Yeah. Well, E3 that happened too. Yeah. Yeah. I know that one.
You know what's a funny thing? Well, no, it's not funny, I guess. It's more stupid. So I was just like, looking up articles for this, and like Kotaku was one of the main ones that reported on it. A games journalist named Sophia Narwitz posted a YouTube video on her channel talking about it. She's the first one to break this news. And then, a bunch of other people picked it up. So Kotaku was like, they exposed 2,000 journalists. Kotaku was like 2,000 journalists. And then you get all these like those ranty YouTubers who are like, the ESA has just leaked 2,000 YouTubers. I'm like, but it's journalists though. I mean, there are some YouTubers in that. No, I'm just it's just interesting.
Yeah,
the different audience that you.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was. I believe it was a web page that was not supposed to be up that contained the link to the file to download 2,000 contacts of these game journalists, and the ESA found out about it, has removed it, and yeah. So
Fun.
So they have a lot of damage control to do right now.
Yep.
And considering the gaming fanboys and their love of sending threats and doxing people.
Yeah, I know.
This is the worst industry to do this in.
I know. I'm just hoping that it's the damage hasn't been done. I haven't heard any stories of the damage being done, but I mean, it's only a matter of
I'm
time,
not sure,
unfortunately.
but I think people are already selling it on the dark web.
Oh, it's gross. Well, they're selling everything on the dark web these days. That's the sad
But
part.
definitely people who you don't want to have this information already do have it, I believe.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So yeah. 2,000 people, that's not a small thing, man.
Nope. Good job, E3.
So yeah, Riot. Remember the farting in the face thing? And all the other
Yeah.
bullshit. So yeah,
Yeah.
Riot employees have said that they are making progress fixing stuff.
Oh, are they now?
Mostly they are
Like
broke
what? Culture stuff or game stuff?
culture stuff, I suppose.
Of course.
Over the last week, 14 current or recent Riot employees spoke with Kotaku about the game company's forward momentum toward equitable workplace conditions. Now there's all the opens, the slanted hiring practices, the chauvinism, the ball-tapping frat antics. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. What?
I just wanted to read that line because it had ball-tapping frat antics in the...
Well, I guess we'll see.
Oh, they're also making a fighting game or something, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's going to be very esports focused as well.
Is it going to
Yeah,
be the same
absolutely.
characters?
I
Or
don't
they
think
can-
so.
I guess that would be
Like a
cool for
different
LOL
IP.
fans.
That'd be kinda
I was
cool.
under the impression if it was a new IP, but I could be wrong.
I was as well, but I wasn't sure why.
I believe they are intending it to be like a 1v1, like a, Tekken, that kind of style of fighting game.
Yeah.
That's all I really know,
Definitely.
to be honest with you.
So, Borderlands 3, TakeTwo. So this was not done by what's his name, Randy Pitchford, which is surprising. But it's by TakeTwo, their parent company. So there was a YouTuber. Yeah, YouTuber that was leaking stuff out about Borderlands 3. I'm not really sure how he got... I watched a video on it, but I kind of forgot all the points of it. But basically, Take-Two sent investigators to his house
Great.
to bully him to stop.
What?
Yeah.
Don't we have letters for that?
And they also did that. They also did not takedowns, but like I think copyright strikes
Cease
on
and
his videos.
desist is usually.
on his videos. Yeah, copyright strikes, and the
Yeah,
copyright
that's
strikes were then removed like after a day or something. So it wasn't put on the video like indefinitely,
Oh, wow.
which is a tactic to bully and scare people.
Oh, so they don't actually care. They just
want him to stop.
because if they, which is dumb, because if you care for him to stop, you should just put down the copyright and keep it so he
And
can't have
leave
the
it.
video. Yeah.
It's still,
so with their
well, they don't want it leaking, period. They don't care who makes money off the leaks. They just don't want it leaking.
yeah, but therefore, if you do, I guess like wouldn't they ask the video to be taken down? But they didn't even do that.
His Discord server was taken down. Somebody put in a flag of selling. It's one of those, you know how flags and like complaints have like, specific categories that you can choose from and you make one of these
Right.
flags. So the category that was chosen to bring down his Discord server was selling cheats, fake accounts, those kind of stuff.
Whoa. So it's not even accurate.
Yeah,
taking down the
So Take-Two is accusing him of selling these leaks and information. But I'm not sure if we have all the
Selling
full
them.
information
mean,
yet.
Technically, he's making money. Is he selling it to YouTube? I don't know who
I
the
don't know.
customer is in this case.
Yeah, I mean,
if does it count if he has a Patreon?
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. This is really murky and creepy.
Does it count if like you make money from your videos? And I mean, technically you're making money from the leaks if you're making leaks about the video.
Yes, if that's what they want to argue. But therefore, why didn't they keep up the copyright strike?
Yeah.
This all is just really weird.
It is very weird.
And kind of creepy.
Take 2K and
Take-Two,
Take-Two is just same damn thing, I guess. So yeah, this one is just really shitty. This next one.
Yeah, they usually are.
Is the whole, video games causes gun violence.
Yeah, here we go again.
And Walmart is now taking down violent video game demos and displays.
Yeah.
In the wake
we'll
of
see how
shootings.
long-
And I learned that Walmart is the biggest retailer in the world in selling guns.
Yeah, I know.
But they
Yeah,
are
Walmart-
removing violent video game demos and displays. The violent titles
Yeah, I
include
know.
Super Smash Brothers, so
And Fortnite.
Mario hammering. Does Mario have a hammer in Super Smash Bros? He usually he
I mean,
does
you
have.
Not as a move.
Oh, okay.
Not
You
as
can
a
get a
move.
hammer, I
You can get a
but-
hammer, okay.
And actually,
Yeah.
one thing they did do that was a little crazier is Apex Legends.
Oh, yeah.
They took off the
E-
esports tour off
ESPN, yeah.
ABC. Yeah.
Did
So
it-
that's
Oh, interesting.
So the tournament is still gonna
Yeah.
go, right?
yeah.
It's
They
just not being
weren't,
aired.
it's not being aired.
Fucking
And that whole thing is just kind of eye rolly to me because I'm trying to think of a good example. There are definitely times when there have been tragedies and therefore like people rethink of what's going on TV and they maybe cancel it or something like that. Like I get that point of view, but when it's but because it was video games and because of the direct correlation, they were so worried about the pushback that they took it down. It's like, yikes, people. It's not like the relation is not the same, But yeah, old tired dance. This is the first time I've seen companies take action, which is a little worrisome, but I don't really believe
I'm
it's
seeing a
gonna
lot of
last.
comments about people like, what video game displays? They've never seen a demo station in so long at Walmart. They're probably just putting out a statement for to get brownie points or something.
Yeah, just
which
to get people
I
like,
wouldn't put past a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Oh, they're crazy. So yeah.
Another sort of related to this. So the new Call of Duty is really close to release or something. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the newest one.
Another one?
Yep.
Yeah, one of those.
Moderner warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Something like that.
They did a exclusive interview or something with Game Informer, and they released a small portion of it. Game Informer released a small portion of the interview as a separate video because they know what gets those fucking clicks, man. The small portion is like a 4-minute part where they ask if the game is political.
Oh my God.
So the answer that the game designers gave, the lead game
I
devs,
have to know this.
the answer
What is
that
it?
Yes.
So the answer that the lead game devs gave was, just to like summarize, this
Yeah.
game is about war, so it is political in essence, but it's not political as in it's not making a stance or statement on any of the current geopolitical issues.
I mean,
And-
that's
Good
not
answer.
inaccurate, but...
But it just sounds like to me they're saying, I mean, it's political, but also not. Like, it's war for fuck's sakes.
I mean, it's
I
not
know.
trying to make a statement.
yeah.
Not
Sure.
a
I mean-
message.
I respect them insofar as they're basically...
The only reason why they say it is political is because it's fucking war, and you can't say war is not political.
I was gonna say war is
Right.
completely political motivated.
If it wasn't about
I
like
only-
contemporary warfare, they would probably say it's not political.
Right, exactly.
They could have just gone the Ubisoft route and
Any war.
and said, Watch Dogs Legion is a post-Brexit world, right? And they say it's not political.
yeah,
They
oh my
literally
gosh.
reference Brexit in the fucking...
Oh, come on.
And they
Watch
say it's
Dogs
not
is all
polit-
about making statements. What? Are you kidding me? It's about cybersecurity
Yeah, and
and
people's
stuff. Of
privacy.
course it's making a stand. And people's privacy. Of course it's making a stand. I will admit that the first game was really wonky in their messaging because they show you this kind of creepy world where you have access to people's personal information and then you just use it for your
Yeah.
own needs.
Yeah, the main character was
the message
not
got a
likable
little
at
muddy.
all.
But it's just, Guys, whenever I hear the whole like, oh, political, I always want to shake these guys because these are probably the same people who play Metal Gear Solid games without batting an eye, and those are some of the most politically charged games I have ever seen.
Yep.
Those are
I'm
all
gonna
about
guess
making a
that Death
message.
Stranding, as weird as it is probably gonna make political statements as well.
You gotta read, and they don't do that part.
I guess, but they're pretty.
Okay.
Who's
I don't
gonna
know,
who's
they're
gonna
pretty
who's gonna
blatant.
stay for the 2-hour cutscenes that Kojima loves so
They're
much?
too
I guess
distracted by
that's true.
silent.
Exactly. But like that's always whenever I always hate the whole like games are so political. And whenever they say games are political,
You know
it's
what it
always
is,
when
though,
it's like a
right?
female lead. Well, yeah, of course
No,
they
as
do.
in-
Whenever it's
I mean,
like
it's
it's
a medium. It's like saying movies are political or books are political. Yeah, some of them are.
A lot
Yeah,
of
It's a
them
yeah,
medium
are.
of expression.
exactly.
Honestly, you
well,
have
exactly.
to go out of your way to make one that is not, I would say.
You kind of do because they're always going to have a message. Like there's always
And also,
and I mean
They're telling a story.
the thing that you can
Yeah.
argue is if that specific issue should be political, because some things shouldn't be and should just be, like.
That's a good point.
that's that's the problem
But
with today's politics.
but
to be honest with you.
definitely, one of the reasons why people are so pissed off about certain things being political, especially video games, is because they don't agree with those politics.
Yeah, well, that's the bigger issue.
So
It's
yeah.
political when they disagree with it. Yeah, exactly. But I also think your point of like things that have become political nowadays that really shouldn't be, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's why I kind of make the joke of like whenever there's a female main protagonist, all of a sudden it's political. It's like, are you
Yeah.
kidding
I
me?
totally
That
forgot.
happens every time.
I totally forgot to tell you guys the one more thing I watched. So I had a really
What?
good week of watching shit. I watched Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah,
It was so good. I loved it. It was so fucking weird. What the fuck?
It's so weird.
I wasn't expecting that at all. What the fuck? Also,
It's the.
it's the what?
Do you know what it is, Sarah?
I do
It's the
not.
movie about a black guy in Oakland who becomes a telemarketer and uses his white voice to sell things real good.
And the
Oh, I
phone.
have
and the
heard
white
about
voices
this movie.
include Patton Oswalt, I believe.
Because they get dubbed over by white people.
And
when they do
what's-
the
Got
voice.
it, got it,
Is
got it.
Patton Oswalt and what's the guy from that family
David
sitcom?
Cross.
Yes.
I had seen a commercial for this movie. Yes. Okay.
But the soundtrack's also so good. Like I knew sure I'd love the soundtrack. It's
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
Cool.
And so there's a weird twist. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
really.
it's kind of like
like it's not even close to
Get Out.
anything to.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay. I didn't see Get Out, but I know enough of the premise.
it's not like a horror movie like Get Out.
Yeah.
But it's got some similarities. You're like, oh,
Basically,
Got
okay.
it.
You'll be
weird,
like, oh my
spooky.
god, that's kind of fucked up.
Got it.
What I liked about it is it's not really present day, is it? I felt like,
It's like a slightly alternate world.
yeah, I felt like
but very very similar.
what the world is in that movie is what the world or society is before a dystopia. It's like it's very close to getting there.
I think it's already
That's-
there.
You can argue that, but I'm thinking,
Yeah.
but
Where do you draw the line?
yeah. Oh man. But that movie is not political at all. No. What?
No,
it's about
obviously not.
black people using white voices. What's political about that?
Yeah. I mean, but one of the main plot points is like they don't call it Amazon obviously, but you have basically a company that's Amazon.
Yeah.
It's called like Worry Be Gone or No More Worries or whatever.
Yeah,
it's called.
something like that. Yeah, worry be free or
And you
whatever.
basic- yeah. They give you like free housing and free food, and all you have to do is work for them. And so it's like people are just becoming slaves.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay like rent or anything.
Jesus.
A little Black Mirror-ish,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
It's really good. Watch it. Seriously, Sarah, you'll like it.
Yeah, I recommend
I
it.
don't know if I'll think about it.
I didn't watch Get Out.
Would you
Now I
recommend
kind of
it
feel-
more than Your Name? They're completely different.
Completely different. I would say watch it back to
Different
back.
movies.
Oh, I would.
I was gonna say
I would say watch Sorry to Bother You first, and then Your Name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that you have a high when
As a
you
pick
finish.
you up?
Yeah, as a pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
was
a
gonna
good
say I have a bit of a pick me up and then
Like,
sob as I'm like
that's-
the world is still good.
That's what they did when they released Grave of the Fireflies with Totoro, I believe.
I have never seen Grave of the Fireflies, and I don't intend to.
No, my
You
my
don't want to
partner
see kids
says that she
suffering
cried.
because of war. It's not
Yeah.
Not
political.
my idea of a fun time.
It's not political,
My
man.
partner says it's like
Uh-huh.
it always makes her cry. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, sometimes I just think about it and I feel like tearing up.
Yeah, I guess.
That fucked
this
me
kind of
up.
reminds me. combining our two recent topics, you guys ever see trailers for a movie called The Hunt? It's like
No.
you know the most dangerous game, like that
Yeah.
book from the 20s.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that.
short story.
It's a new version of that. Basically, a bunch of
Okay.
people wake up on an island and they're gonna be hunted by rich people. So it's rich people
Got it.
hunting
Sorry,
poor people.
say that
But,
again? It's rich people
it's
hunting
rich
poor
people
people.
hunting poor people. Yeah. For
Have you
sport.
heard of the most dangerous game? It's a old short story.
No, I haven't heard of it actually.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Old short story. Basic premise is basically that this guy, he's with this rich guy, and he thinks that they're gonna go hunting, and he finds out that he's the prey.
Yeah. So, but
Trump
they've stopped
freaks
showing their
out.
trailer because of the shootings.
Trump freaks out over The Hunt, a satirical film he
Trump
doesn't
freaks
understand. What the fuck?
Anyway, what's the hunt? Tell us more about the hunt. It's like
Well,
the
I-
most. It's like.
I just bring it up
Most
because they've stopped advertising for it because of the shootings.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's also
That one
on topic because it's very strong political, social commentary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That one I understand a little bit more because it's a bit more on the nose. Even if it's, even if the topic honestly should be discussed.
Why
it's like,
are they
rich people killing?
There's
poor
this article that says The Hunt is about liberal elites hunting MAGA types. What?
I think that's what it is as
Oh,
well.
really?
I think, yeah,
Really?
I think those are the classes of the characters involved. Is it's lefty people hunting right people? I don't know.
That makes it
wow.
sound like it's being made by right-wing people, though.
It's very political.
Oh wow. Okay.
Huh.
This is the world that the conservatives are afraid we're gonna build.
We need the guns. They shouldn't have guns.
So yeah. Oh, and I saw pictures of like people having assault rifles just hanging on their backs at Starbucks and shit. I'm like, that's kind of
There's gonna be a resurgence.
that's weird, man. For me,
Real
like,
Oh,
seriously.
It's
I'm not sure if it's weird for
I-
you guys. Maybe you're used to it. I don't
it's
know.
super.
If I,
I mean,
saw it
it's,
in the real world, it'd be weird, but I haven't seen it.
It depends on the
yeah,
state,
we live
right?
in.
Like different
It
states
really
have different.
does.
Yeah. Okay.
We just live in an area where I mean, I work in Detroit. The population there cannot pull that.
Oh, yeah.
Without getting arrested.
Somebody said
Let's just put it that
A
way.
bunch of black people should just
Laugh
open
for
carry
stuff,
so that
yeah.
people will stop banning the shit. But they might die.
Instantly.
That's the problem, you know.
That's a-
But yeah, so we don't live in phone. I don't really live in areas where you're going to see that as much.
Okay.
But it is. I mean, I know people who do something like that, or at the very least would think about it. So I mean, it's not too far from the truth. And I know many people that do honestly believe, like, well, no, we just need more people with guns. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, if that
how do I
grandma, if
explain
only
this?
that grandma had a gun, that baby wouldn't have shot her in the back. That gun would have
Right.
saved in that situation.
Like it's so like I don't want to get
Not
into
today,
too much
Junior.
of the gun. Like I really don't want to get into the gun debate, obviously, because we talk about video games and
Yeah.
stuff. But like,
Yeah.
just to end it this way, like it is true. Like the way Americans view guns is so I don't know how to explain it. Cause like honestly, I don't know how they would feel if they had talked to people from other countries, because it would blow their minds to understand how we are just so weird and messed up in how we think about it. And it's
I like
all
when
basically
people try to blame it on other things, like video games or bad parenting. It's like, do the other countries just have better video games and parents than America?
right. Oh,
Like-
did you hear about the guy?
We
Did
have
you hear-
quadruple
who
A
was- who
games
said
over
this?
here. Not sure
Who
what
said
you
this?
guys are playing.
There was a politician, I forget who it was. I don't think it was Trump. Someone did say that the reason, because someone pointed to Japan.
Is it
was
Mitch
like,
McConnell or
Japan
something?
has
Oh.
Japan doesn't have
There's
many
no
guns.
video games in Japan.
There's no video games in
they said.
Japan.
I saw
And we
that
all
quote.
went,
Seriously, is that what he
What?
said?
yeah.
Somebody, that's an actual quote of somebody.
Is an actual quote. Yeah, I forget who it was, but some politician was like, yeah, well, because someone probably brought up Japan because they have a very low gun death rate and not
They
many
have a
people
low
own guns.
crime rate, period. Like
Yeah.
there are cops.
They
like,
do.
There's like cut back on cop spending because they have more cops than crime.
Yeah, and I think there was
That we
even like
know
some
of.
strict rules about cops that how they can hold guns too. Like they're very
Probably.
strict on their gun control. And yeah, so someone I think brought them up. He's like, well, in Japan they don't have video games. And we all went, what? So you know,
like- Even here, the cops, those of a certain rank can hold guns, but the guns that they have is like the really small 6-chamber revolver types. It's not like a fucking AK or anything. Like I mean, I'm sure there
Yeah,
are
cops-
certain squads or something with those
Yeah,
that
cops
might
don't
require
hold
it.
AKs over here usually.
No, but you guys
They
have like
don't.
high-powered like Glocks with like 15 rounds or something, right?
Yeah,
this one is
that's-
just
yeah,
6
they have
rounds in a
something.
small
Pistols.
little.
Yeah, they got something big. Getting into the whole how cops
I've
are in
seen
this
I've seen
country is a
sheriff
whole other
departments with
thing.
tanks over there.
Yes, they buy surplus
Yeah.
like armored vehicles. No, I haven't seen a tank, but I have seen like an armored car.
Is that even
with, like, a
necessary?
machine gun in the top.
I
I don't know what you
mean,
use it against.
I
Black
don't know
people.
what we used it against. I guess. I don't know what
What
they were
else,
gonna
man?
do. That's always my favorite thing, though, to get in an argument with people when they're like, because a lot of people you will hear say, "Well, we need our guns. It's in the Constitution," which you're like, "But the Constitution can be changed, as it always has been." But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, on the,
It's a. Anyway, I
it's
was
just
just
funny
saying, it's
because
in
like
the
on the one. Sorry, you go ahead.
I was going to finish with, like, and so they go, we need to bear arms so that we can fight against if there's ever a tyrannical government. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, but they have tanks. And do you think you need tanks?
They have missiles. It's not gonna like that's. I agree with that. Like I'm skeptical of the government, but one,
Yeah.
I'm more skeptical of other people. and
Yeah, that's
two,
fair.
I don't think the guns will make a huge difference.
And
Yeah.
if you guys have a bunch of people wielding guns and a shootout actually happens, how do you find out who's a shooter?
Yep.
Good
totally.
question.
If I'm a
that's
cop,
the
I'll be
ones, or the
fucking
good ones,
nervous,
obviously.
man.
It's all.
Yeah, it's just the
skin
good guys. It's the good guys with the guns. How can you not tell it's the good guy with the gun?
white guys.
color. Yeah. That's a good
So they'll tell
ASMR
you.
right there.
Yeah.
This actually reminds me. One thing I also saw in the last 2 weeks was the new Tarantino movie. Speaking of violence,
There's a
we
new
go.
Tarantino movie.
yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's the Brad Pitt with
it was
Leonardo
like
or something.
2 hour is over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and like 45 minutes long or something. so
That's
it's
long.
very long.
Is that
So
normal
it's
for
good.
Tarantino?
It's-
I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. So it is good, but it definitely did not need to be that long. There was a lot of stuff like this could be cut, this could be trimmed, but it's still a good movie.
Yikes.
I would recommend it if you have the time.
What's it called?
Once Upon a Time in
Once
Hollywood.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay. I don't think I heard much about this one, but I don't watch tons of
It is good.
Tarantino,
Yeah,
so.
it's not his best.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's just it's
Okay.
a solid good movie.
But it's not a
Not great.
isn't but it's a
It's real
very non-typical of Tarantino kind of movie, right?
I guess what makes it typical? I don't know. It seems pretty typical.
Oh, okay.
A lot of rambling asides and some violence and this long.
It became the first
Character
Tarantino film not to be
development stuff.
associated with producer Harvey Weinstein after Tarantino cut ties following
Oh,
sexual
good.
abuse. I mean, I'm pretty sure he knew about it. It's just that once it got public, he can't do it no more. There's no way you
Yeah.
don't know this when you work with somebody so long. And being in the
Yeah.
industry.
Ooh,
stars by the cast.
It's a great cast. It's a lot like Charles Manson. It's like a kind of not like an homage to him, but like there's a character in there who's like this is very Charles Manson-y.
Like a charismatic cult leader type.
More or less, yeah. It's like a cult that wants to kill rich people because Hollywood poisoned their minds or whatever. But it's almost like a B plot. Like there's not like a strong A plot. You know, it's kind of like a Tarantino movie where like, there's just people. It's like these strong characters and stuff just kind of happens to them. You don't really
okay.
know
In
what
that
like the
way, it's
overall
Tarantino.
goal or stakes are. Yeah. yeah.
Okay. Is there like
I'd say there's
gratuitous
less
violence or
violence
some
than
shit?
most-
Alright. Just wanted to
There
ask.
is one scene of gratuitous violence,
Ah.
and it's pretty fun actually.
Okay.
It's not too. It's pretty funny.
So yeah, let's talk about Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
I don't know this story.
Twitch got sent death threats, and nobody
Which-
knows
the
why.
website. Like what does that
Like the
mean?
company?
The embodiment of Twitch.
sending it to the company's headquarters, and
I see.
yikes.
police are telling people to work from home until they finish their investigations. They don't know. They don't have any
Yikes.
suspects or know how credible the threat is. I'm not really sure why. It could be a response to politicians saying video games causes violence. Blah blah blah. Maybe
But why would you threaten Twitch? If I just
I was gonna say
Because
that's
it glorifies
even
video games or
politicians said
something.
video games are violence, so I'm gonna threaten. Oh, I see it.
Because it's,
the
you know-
anti-violence guy threatening violence against video. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's funny because usually our
checks out.
president does a lot of more blatant inciting of violence.
That's
This one's
true.
pretty subtle.
so. Like right now, the I'm reading it on Business Insider, and I literally cannot see them saying the reason why the threats were sent. Like usually
Nobody knows.
the reason it
it's-
was sent is one of the few things that these kind of people want to be known for.
That's true.
Well, what's kind of scary is like it could be like a disgruntled employee, and those are kind of the scary stories because that's when you hear about them like going back to the workplace
And actually doing something.
doing another match. Yeah, so that's the only thing that's a little scary. But hopefully I'm glad that they're at least taking action and that they're telling people to just work from home and stuff like that. That they're not trying to make them come into the office.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate
So
that. at
yeah,
least.
the other Twitch thing also. It revolves around Mixer, which is Microsoft's
Oh yeah.
competition to Twitch.
Competitor.
Yeah. Mixer is a Twitch competitor owned by Microsoft, right?
Yes.
And they recently bought Ninja.
Yes,
biggest
Ninja
streamer.
is exclusive.
He's an
Ninja's
exclusive.
exclusively on Mixer, not Twitch.
14 million subscribers on 14 million people on Twitch, whatever subscribers or whatever it is. Ninja is leaving, and he has currently, after a few days or a week or two, had 1 million on Mixer. He's getting a bunch of money from Microsoft because that's what they have and that's what they'll throw. And you know what's funny? Ninja is currently an exclusive on Mixer, and you know what all the game fanboys are talking? Saying it was good for competition when Epic is literally doing the same fucking thing, and they
Yeah.
Well,
Go
is
fuck
Mixer
yourself.
Is Mixer a good platform?
no idea.
I have never
Like,
used
because the Epic
it.
platform, by all accounts, is bad. I don't know how Mixer compares to Twitch in terms of.
I'm
just
going to say
quality.
nobody cares about Mixer until this one.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I
fair.
felt. I didn't even know it existed. Like I've heard of Mixer, but I had no idea that it was actually like a
I
Twitch
bet-
like platform until this.
I bet if you Google like video game streaming and then you Bing video game streaming, you get Twitch and Mixer respectively. I bet Bing's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
go to Mixer.
Exactly. I just
So yeah,
yeah.
game developers,
People are dumb.
small game developers. Some are big, some are assholes, some are big. Like Randy Bitchford, he's the fucking guy who believes women
Yep, yep.
orgasm is a magic trick.
Oh,
Him,
yeah.
Borderlands 3, they don't need the money, okay? But like there are small
Right.
indie developers who are taking the money, which we will come to. Well, let's just mention it. Ooblets is one of the recent ones. It's a small indie game dev company led by a husband and wife team. They're making this like 3D cutesy farming kind of game called Ooblets. I think that's the name of the game. Yeah, I think the name of the game is Ooblets, and yeah. So yeah, they got so many death threats and stuff like trigger warning, stuff like telling the whore wife to fucking die and shit.
Oh jeez.
But Ninja, the fucking millionaire, just be consistent. If you
don't
want to
be
send death
hypocritical.
threats, send them to everyone. Just do it. Just send them to everyone. Okay?
Oh lordy.
For fuck's sakes, just be consistent, motherfuckers. Holy shit.
I was reading an interesting post on one of the subreddits about how I guess when Randy announced that Borderlands 3 would be an Epic Store exclusive, like
it
the
was
more
his
verbose
decision or something, right?
announcement. Oh, yeah, reasoning like, oh yeah, it's it'll have all these necessary features for the time we launch, and Epic's super not on track to have almost like any of those features. So I wonder. I don't think anything can change. I assume contracts are set in stone, or I don't know what's going to happen. But it's interesting what's going to
that's not
happen.
good.
It could be a fat
That's-
disaster.
That really sucks.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
Things like support and whatnot.
Yikes. Come on, Epic.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just give up.
So yeah, Ninja leaves Twitch to be an exclusive on Mixer to continue not working with women. Is basically, I think. What he's... You know the story on that, right?
No.
I think I'd heard about it.
Yeah,
but I don't
basically
know full
people asked him.
details.
Oh, this sounds.
Yeah, people like a couple years ago or something, a year ago, people asked him like, why don't you collab with female streamers? And like, I don't want any drama. I have a wife. The Game Boy fanboys are gonna
Yeah,
say that I'm fucking.
that's right, yeah.
I remember that.
And I'm like,
Yeah, he's a tool.
I don't want to
It's
say this,
okay.
but what a pussy little bitch. Like, what the fuck?
Kinda like, lordy, it
That's some
reminds
DJ
me.
shit.
Khalid level bullshit.
It's
That's
like,
the
well,
best
that
you can
not
come
just
up with?
that and like freaking Mike Pence levels, who like won't go out to lunch with any other woman because it'd be disrespectful to his wife, and I'm like,
Sure.
Are you saying you're
Excuse me?
gonna shove your hand up the pussy or something under the table?
something right? Like, what are you gonna do here?
Maybe you're the problem and not
Yeah.
the women streamers that are calling you out on it.
Yeah. Jesus, I don't want.
I think I told this story before, but I knew an improviser who she had a story where she auditioned to be on a team with I don't remember the actor's name, but he plays the American in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and
Okay.
she didn't get onto the team, and she later found out it was because he said that if she was on the team, he did not think he could control himself, and so they didn't.
It was you met the person or something, right? At your
Yeah, I had a workshop and she
Yeah.
was in it, and we were sharing like embarrassing
People
improv
are
stories.
so-
Or shameful. I don't
Guys,
know
you're
the word.
weird. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Who talks like that?
yeah.
I want everyone to know I'm a rapist, so do what I say.
I mean, I guess that's I guess to be fair, I'd rather like you notify us than not
That's a good
notify us.
point.
I mean, I guess that's
But
better
the
that
solution
way,
is to
but
remove yourself.
Or maybe
yeah,
not
remove
do
yourself and
anything.
maybe, yeah, or maybe get some help.
Yeah,
like,
get some help.
what?
Yeah.
Or just do like what most people do, just fantasize about it and not actually do anything. And
Yeah, 'cause
outside of the
there's two different
fantasy,
things.
Do
treat
these
the person
people, like,
as a
ever-
person. Still.
Do they ever masturbate? I don't know.
I
Just
don't
pent up.
know. Seriously though,
Masturbation
I don't
is good
know.
for
It's
you.
like-
People should do more of that.
yeah.
Like, it's legit
Like,
good for you.
keep-
So
Yeah.
so take Ninja's cock out of your mouth and go masturbate once in a while. Seriously.
That'd be a great like PSA. We should make fake PSAs. like those old cigarette commercials. Like, I'm John Wayne and I say masturbate twice a day. I don't know. like old...
Oh my god.
And I'm gonna say something where the response to me saying that will be, "Oh, you're just jealous." But Ninja has a really punchable face.
I don't think I've ever seen him, but I believe it.
He does. He really does. He looks like he has a very
like he didn't
very
grow
young
up.
face. He has a like you know Ross. He's a nice guy, but you know
Yes.
Ross from Game Grumps. He's like a face like that, a very baby face.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm showing
but
my
like,
age. You said Ross, and the first thing I thought was Friends.
That's reasonable.
Sorry, no.
That's
no,
a really
it's
popular.
fine, but
That's
no.
a really popular Ross. To be fair,
Yeah,
It
that
is.
is fair. That is fair.
which I
meant,
learned by the way,
Game
Netflix
Grumps
paid
Ross.
$100 million for Friends last year.
I
Wow.
know.
What the
It's going
fuck?
off
Right?
Netflix this
No, wait,
year,
I don't.
right?
They-
Wait, are those royalties or what they're paying for?
I don't know.
That's a lot of money for
know how-
such
I
an
don't know how that
old ass sitcom, man.
It's
very-
I know. It's 'cause
Like,
it's
they
still
never
so
need to work
popular.
again.
Yeah, I think the next Friends will be Big Bang Theory, pretty much. In terms of just
No,
like
that's very sad.
just money made.
Could be.
But yeah. But no, I don't hate Ninja. I don't watch his stuff. I have no reason to dislike him. I just think, I mean, I thought it was super funny that he did not pass for the Fortnite championships. I thought that was
Oh
pretty
Yeah.
yeah, that's hilarious.
That's just pretty funny.
I don't
Nothing
watch his
against him,
things, so
that's
I can't say whether I like or dislike his content. I just dislike him
Yeah.
as a person and everything he stands for.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Judging him by his fan base, I don't like him.
Also
that's
judging
very
him by the
fair.
things he said about, not
Also
wanting
Yeah,
to
he's-
collab
bigger
about,
one.
yeah.
that's
He's said
pretty
some
big one.
weird things.
And
there are
also, I
certainly
just find it
some-
really
there's-
funny that, the people who are saying, yay, this exclusive will help competition versus, what Epic
Yep,
has been.
yep.
It's just, they really cannot see the parallels. They really cannot see it.
They really can't, which is so funny. Whatever.
It's really funny.
People are.
Maybe
but
they're
yeah.
not the same people. I don't know. It's
I mean, that's fair.
it's more
It
easy to
could
believe
be.
they're just
Personally have had conversations with
Oh.
these people
I'm not surprised.
who
I think that
hold
is true sometimes. I think that is true sometimes, Fo, with certain
Yeah.
things. Like it's like a similar like group of people,
Yeah.
but it's a different.
it
People
could be
within that
Russian
group.
bots,
That's
to
certainly
be
true.
fair.
It's always the Russian bots,
Yeah.
but yeah, I get you. But I believe that people would not see the disconnect with this one.
So yeah,
Just because
a
people-
husband and wife team making an indie game is Yeah. Seriously, you should. They actually released a you know, one of those Medium articles, like on Medium.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about the abuse they've got, and it's hell.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's awful.
Trigger warning for racist, ethnic, homophobic slurs, threats, violence, rape, suicide, self-harm, and other stuff.
What
That's
the
a
heck?
long ass list.
That's a lot.
Yup.
Okay.
They may or may not be
Jeez.
like LGBT, like the husband and wife team, but homophobic slurs
Yeah.
still. And I'm pretty sure they're
I
white.
guess,
think.
and trans.
Yeah, like.
What? That's super weird.
And a lot of people, so they have like a Discord with a lot of people. They actually got really popular. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if it's like a couple of viral things or it's just a slow, steady build. Like they have 50K on their Twitter, which is pretty big for an indie game. And they have a few thousand people on their Discord servers and stuff, but they're getting abused from everywhere basically. Because they created, they wrote a blog post on their website announcing this, and they were saying things like, we believe in your ability to find and download the free software to play our game, like those kind of things, like just being cheeky about it, which I thought was funny and kind of warranted for the types of things people are already saying about all these Epic exclusives. But the response that they're getting back is totally not the same. Yeah, I send a link. Read it if you can stomach it, but
I'll see. This is just
But yeah.
gross.
so yes. That's all I have. Pretty big stuff actually. This past 2 weeks.
You
Yeah.
missed the biggest thing.
What biggest thing?
What's the biggest thing?
Indivisible got a release date.
Oh, yeah, October 8th, October 10th.
Yeah,
Something in October.
Is it October? Yeah, it's October. Yeah. That's it. It's a short story. But also, minor news story. You know how they were planning a Magic the Gathering movie? No, Disney was.
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently, they've canceled plans for that.
Oh.
They've also canceled plans for their Mega Man movie and their Sims movie.
Wait, but weren't the Russo
Mega
brothers
Man?
doing the Magic TV show? That one? They're canceling?
This was a film, apparently.
Oh. The
So
Russo brothers.
Disney, in the wake of the Disney-Fox merger, Disney's decided to shelve all but a handful of the currently in development film projects at Fox. Nearly 300 films have been canceled, including the films based on Mega Man, Magic the Gathering, The Sims, and Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay, I think that's different then. Because I
Okay.
think they're doing their own Magic the Gathering. Because there is supposed to be slated a
show,
Magic the
right?
Gathering TV show directed by the
Okay.
Russo brothers. So
Okay,
that
sounds
must
like a
be
different thing.
that must be why, yeah. I was like,
Oh yeah,
what?
the Netflix has their own. Yeah, okay, so this is Disney canceling their movie, but the Netflix show still...
It's
Sounds like it's gonna be
Netflix,
a
sorry.
thing?
I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, I confuse what's on Netflix and what's on Disney these days and everything else.
It
Yeah,
sounds.
you're right. I
It
scrolled- I
almost
scrolled
sounds
to
like
the
there's
bottom.
too many of these services or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So many.
I scrolled to the bottom and it confirms that the Russo brothers Netflix show is still...
Okay,
Good to
that's
go.
different then. Okay, that was through Netflix, not Disney. Okay. That makes sense. 'Cause they probably
I'd forgotten
like,
too. I'd conflated the two. I didn't realize there was one of each.
I didn't know there was a movie that Fox was supposed to do, so that was news to me. I didn't even know about the Mega Man movie. They still doing the Sonic
Me neither.
movie? Is that through
guess
Fox?
so.
Is that through Fox doing the Sonic
Uh,
movie?
I don't know. It seems like something they would do.
It does. Sounds like a Fox production. Who produced the Pokemon movie?
Ooh, great question.
Universal.
Was it
Legendary?
Universal Pictures? Oh, Legendary. Okay.
No, I'm just guessing. Hold on.
Someone asked. Someone check.
Detective Pikachu. I love that movie so much.
Such a good. I loved it so much.
So cute and just
It's just I know, and I want more. I don't
Yeah.
even need that kid. I just want more.
Yeah,
of
Legendary.
it. It's just so legendary.
I think
Okay.
they're working on a Switch game. I don't know if it's a port or a new game.
From what I remember reading the last time they actually announced this was it's going to be a port plus more.
Okay.
So maybe same game. I heard the game is not that good though. Like the 3DS one.
Yeah, I kind of heard that too.
So yeah, you guys got anything else?
I really
Those are my
don't. You
two.
you hit on all the things that I was
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Indivisible is 10% off if you pre-order. I normally don't say pre-order, but you should just pre-order this. 'Cause it's gonna be real good.
It is gonna be good.
It's a demo. Just play the demo first, and then pre-order.
I mean, I played the demo and it was amazing.
You play the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dear listeners.
Dear listeners, Indivisible.
Support this
Your
game.
listeners.
Oh man. But it's full price here. I mean, there's no like region pricing, so it's kind of steep. And I kind of want to wait to see what they do with the Switch version. If it's a really good port, because they're planning on porting it. So
Eventually,
yeah,
some
because
console ports.
when they started developing this game, the Switch wasn't even announced yet.
Right.
So the PS4 and Xbox One is coming out together with Steam version, I believe, and they're working on the Switch port. So if it's a proper port, a good port, and if there's a physical version, I might buy that.
I would love to buy a physical version.
Yeah, I do like
I like the art a lot.
I do like to get physical. It'd be cool if we get like a poster or something because their art style is so good.
Yeah. I learned of Battle Chasers through Indivisible because like on their Twitter, I don't know if it was fan art or like just a crossover, but they had a picture of the robot character inside the Indivisible game.
Oh, are they not doing like indie game crossover stuff?
They might be.
Or they might have just done like you said, fan art.
Yeah, like a promo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think my impression was he was going to be in the game. Like I thought he was in the game. Like, oh no, this is from a different game. And I saw Battle Chasers. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I should play that.
Yeah, Battle Chaser is pretty cool, which is available on mobile now. So,
Oh,
yeah. Time to wrap up. Could let's wrap up?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah, okay. Do the thing.
I'm Sarahscopic, Sarahscopic. I'm not really on YouTube or Twitch right now, but you can check me on Checkpoint XP. Check out Checkpoint XP on Twitch or .com. I also do another podcast, Not Your Player 2, which talks about female perspectives in gaming. Others, I'm on Twitter, so hit me up there.
and I'm Foehamner. I'm on YouTube. I'd say lately my average has been like on a week, off a week, but hopefully we'll be playing more. I also just got a key for Anodyne 2. I really liked Anodyne 1, so I'm looking forward to trying that out soon.
And I'm Pupunoob Pew Pew, and it'll be you know where. So yes, this has been episode 159 of the Play On Ultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We will see you next time. Bye bye.